Hey guys, it's me Sophia. 오늘은요 rather than versus instead of을 설명해 줄게요. 요 비디오가 리퀘스트를 받고 many foreign speakers가 많이 헷갈려가지고 오늘 되게 쉽게 하고 clearly 설명해 줄게요. 가자요! The reason why most foreign speakers get these two phrases mixed up is because in Korea these two phrases mean the same thing, which is 대신에. And because these two phrases mean the same thing in Korean, then they assume that these two mean the same thing in English. But they have a slightly different meaning, as I will explain now. Now I'll explain these phrases using examples. First, let's look at I prefer eating hamburgers rather than eating pizza. So you can see that rather than is right there. And the main subjects of this sentence that we will be comparing is hamburgers and pizza. I prefer eating hamburgers rather than eating pizza. Rather than means, here's a hint, it's your preference, which is what you like. If you prefer hamburgers, so if we cut out rather than eating pizza and only look at I prefer eating hamburgers, that is a correct sentence by itself. And it means that you like eating hamburgers. So a preference is something that you like. And rather than is a phrase based on the things you like and you don't like. The phrase that comes before rather than, so I prefer eating hamburgers, that is what you like more. And the phrase that comes after eating pizza is the one you like less. You can like these two still, but the one in front has to be a bit more, and the one in the back has to be a bit less, even though you can still like them both. I prefer eating hamburgers. I'll draw you a little hamburger, and a thumbs up, and then a pizza. And although you can still like both, you like hamburgers a little bit more and you like pizza a little bit less. And this is all based on your preference, whether you like it or not. Liking hamburgers or disliking pizza. And it's all based on that. And that's rather than. Follow me, rather than. One more time, rather than. Great job! Let's now move on to the next example. I ate pizza instead of hamburgers. The phrase is right there. And again, here we have pizza, and here we have hamburgers. Now, instead of is not based on whether you like it or not. It's just based on the actions and the actions that happen around you. I ate pizza instead of hamburgers. So you don't have to like pizza. You can hate pizza for all you want. But you still ate it. Maybe because the shop ran out of hamburgers, or all the hamburgers were rotten and you couldn't eat the hamburgers. But this just happened. This is just an action that happened, and it was an alternative it was an alternative to hamburgers because something went wrong with the hamburgers or something like that. But even though you don't like pizza, you can still eat it because instead of is based on the action, not whether you like it or not. So you can still get stuck with pizza even if you hate it. Yay! So I'll draw pizza. You can still hate it, but you have to eat it. That's your teeth, by the way. So you're eating. Even if you hate it, you still can eat it because instead of is not based on your happiness. That's my analogy through pictures. Pizza is bad, you still eat it because instead of is not based on happiness. Let's move on to our second set. Now that we have discussed food, we can now discuss walking and running. I prefer walking rather than running. Now like our example up here, rather than is right there. And these are the main things that we will be talking about. I prefer walking. This can be a sentence by itself because preference means something that you like. And this is saying that I like walking. But you like it more than running. So you can like both, but walking just a little bit more, running just a little bit less. You can still like both. I'm not saying that you have to hate running. You can still like both, but just one a little bit more than the other. Second, I ran instead of walking. I ran instead of walking. You can hate running, but you still ran. Maybe because you had to run to get a good grade in PE. But even if you hate it, you still did it as an alternative to walking. as a little tip or a little hint, if you ever take an exam on this or a test, it might be like, I prefer eating hamburgers rather than eating pizza because I like hamburgers more. And saying that because I like hamburgers more is a hint because it says the word like in it, right? And preference is based on whether you like it or not. So that can be a small hint. Same with this example. I prefer walking rather than running because I like walking more. And remember that because. And I ran instead of walking. Another small note that I would like to make is that with instead of, the word after, it cannot be a verb. It has to be a noun phrase. Like walking, for example. Noun, exclamation point. And the word before it can be a verb. Just this has to be a noun phrase. But with this, with rather than, they both have to be the same version of the verb. So it's like walking and running. It can't be, I prefer walked with an ed rather than running because that's incorrect. So with rather than, they have to be the same form of the verb. Whether with instead of, the second one has to be a noun phrase. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like my videos and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Once again, thank you so much. And remember, rather than and instead of, rather than is based on your emotions. Like I have my analogy here. Even though you hate pizza, you still eat it. Because instead of is not based on your happiness. So just refer to this all the time. My little picture analogy. So once again, thank you so much. Bye! Hey guys, it's me Sophia. 오늘은요, 인터넷 슬랭 6개 미국에서 엄청 많이 쓰는 거를 얘기해드릴게요. 그래서 여기 보면 이게 다 abbreviation이에요. 진짜 큰 월드가 아니라 그냥 조그맣게 letter로 조그맣게 abbreviate 하는 거.